Andor Season 2 has been discussed a lot over the past couple weeks after the first 3 episodes came out, and there was a controversy surrounding one of the scenes that's been argued to death. And then the next 3 episodes came out, and quite honestly, a lot of people, even people that were fans of the first season, said, hey, you know what? First season's a slow burn, but it really led somewhere. Even people that were fans in large part of the first one, a lot of them are starting to have gripes about how slow this second season of Andor has been. And even with moments that are successful in building tension, it just goes on and on and on and drags a little bit. And you really didn't need 6 episodes to tell the story they've told so far. But the real question is, are people watching? Are people watching this show? And that's important because Andor, when it came out a few years ago, season 1, it didn't have a particularly impressive opening when it comes to ratings and the premiere. Now, one of the things it did was over time, it gained viewership, which was surprising. Most of these Star Wars shows absolutely crash off and fall. Andor Season 1 did not. That may have given some people some hope that Andor Season 2 could capitalize on that viewership, continue to grow this show, and maybe it might be worth all they spent on it. Now, I think that would maybe be impossible, because they spent over $650 million on 2 seasons of Andor. And when it's all said and done, we get the final tax receipts. It's probably going to be closer to $700 million for 2 seasons of Andor. That means this thing would have to be a massive, huge rating success. It would have to be unfathomably popular. It would have to be billions and billions of minutes watched on a weekly basis. That is not the case, because we have the first ratings, at least the first full week plus of ratings for Andor Season 2, and it's not particularly impressive. Now, Luminate, much like Nielsen, they do streaming numbers in terms of million minutes watched for all the programs that are out there right now. And the first couple days on the premiere week for Andor, it did not make the charts. Now, I talked about it when it happened because it only had a couple days. It didn't have the full, 6-day premiere week like Nielsen will have when that comes out a few weeks later. But now we do have all of the data from the first 9 to 10 days of Andor being released. I want to put this in perspective. Season 1, when they dropped 3 episodes of Andor, about the same time in terms of the runtime of those episodes that we got for the first 3 episodes of this season of Andor, 624 million minutes watched. Now, on a per episode basis, not exactly impressive, even compared to some other Disney Star Wars failures we've seen. But Andor Season 2 is supposed to capitalize on that momentum. A lot more people looking forward to Andor Season 2. Well, it has not so far, because the first couple days it was available, 250 million minutes watched. Now that you factor in that entire week, right, plus 4, 5, and 6 episodes dropping, which were almost an extra 3 hours worth of runtime. And you have Andor sitting here at 480 million minutes watched in its second week of availability. Put that into perspective for something like The Acolyte, which had about 380 million minutes. That was with a 2-episode premiere and then a 1 short episode release on its second week. So Andor has 3-4 more hours of runtime to accumulate that watch time than even something like The Acolyte. And these are where those numbers stand. People aren't watching the show. There may be some tweets that get talked about. There may be people talking about a rape scene, which was not a rape scene, obviously. There might be controversy surrounding a lesbian kiss in Star Wars, which, you know what? Maybe if I had given a shit about those characters, it would have been like, okay, whatever. Unfortunately, not many people were too invested in Cinta and Vel. So it just came off as cringe and a little bit forced. And then, of course, the gays are mad too, because one of those characters immediately gets killed. So you can't keep anybody happy, even when you put this shit in these fucking shows. Maybe if this was getting actual real numbers, it could be justified. If people are tuning in, people are invested. They're not. They're not. It's not even matching its season 1 numbers. And that was a week premiere, which gained steam towards the end. But you would imagine with the steam that it gained towards the end, more people would have been watching at the beginning. That is not the case for season 2 of Andor. We talked about it last week when those early numbers came out and it didn't even chart. And we were wondering, hey, is this going to be bad? How bad is it going to be? Well, the answer is this is a $650 million disaster. There's a lot of people out there that are passionate about it and think Andor is some of the best storytelling. And I think that even with all the criticisms I have for Andor, I do think that it's the most competent thing that they've put on screen. I have issues with it. I have problems with it. And I don't think it's a great show by any stretch of the imagination. I don't even think it's a good show. I think it's pretty meh with some great things, some great moments, including a lot of the Luthen stuff and a lot of the Imperial Security Bureau stuff. The ISB stuff, I think, is done very well at times. But it's also intermixed with a lot of things that I think they take way too much time on, that people are not invested in, that people do not care about. And that's kind of displayed with these numbers. They were hoping that Andor Season 2 could be the smash hit that they wanted Season 1 to be. Clearly, not the case.